Are you all from the area, or were you born outside and then moved in?
No, I'm from the Donegal Road.
Donegal Road.
Are you just the wider Belfast
I'm
area?
originally from the Donegal Road.
Right.
And then when I got married, I moved to the Woodville Road, and then I moved to the Ballysullen Road.
Okay.
I never lived in this area.
Never lived in this area. What about the other ones?
No, I've never lived in this area.
Are you living now?
No, I lived in a farm, and then I lived just off Great Victoria Street, and then I left here in 1966, so I know nothing. But even then, I knew the other side of the city hall more than this side.
What about you, Betty?
Well, I was born reared in Shankill, and then I lived in the Ballymartin Road now when I was in trouble.
This is
Came
our
here and moved.
spokeswoman. Tell them now where you're from.
Look, you've got me like that.
She's from the area. Go ahead.
Oh, I lived at the, but I was, well, I wasn't born in that house, I was born in the hospital, but I lived down at the bottom of the Old Park Road, and then when I got married I lived at the bottom of the Crumlin Road, and then I live further up the Crumlin Road now.
Okay. So all is around
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
the area. Born and bred, as it
yeah,
says.
more or less on the one spot.
And what was it like growing up in Northern Ireland in general, not necessarily just in the area, but growing up, what are your memories of growing up here? Is it much different from today's world?
Yes.
Oh gosh, yes, an awful lot. I mean, in the old days, you left your door open. Nobody would have ever thought of locking a door. Just wasn't done. I mean, well, you didn't need to. And shops, you went in and out of the shops, and you had your shopping list, and you stood there and you just asked for your groceries, and you got them. You didn't go into places like Tesco's and find 6 rows of fizzy drinks and 6 rows of crisps, and you couldn't find the food.
That's right.
I went in yesterday to Tesco's for, look, I thought I was going to get stuck there digging up the road, so I wanted dried milk. Tesco's have stopped doing it.
Did I?
Every time I want some, they've stopped doing it. Now, if you want fizzy drinks, you want potato crisps, you're flying, you know.
Yeah.
No hassle. Have you seen how many rows they have of fizzy drinks and potato crisps?
That's true. That's true. No,
Well, we needed sweetie coupons to get our, when we were young, to get our sweets, we needed a
What were
coupon.
sweetie coupons?
Sweet, that's what you got
because
your
the war
sweets
was
with.
on,
The war
you
was
see.
on.
And you're allowed so much of everything.
We had sweetie coupons, so you got a sweetie coupon to go down and get something in the shop.
And your clothing
Clothing
coupons, your
coupons.
clothing coupons and
Yes.
sweet coupons. And
Yeah.
food, you had food.
Yeah, but there wasn't so much plastics.
Don't you never seen anybody with a bottle.
Or fresh.
I hardly seen them with a bottle of
And
lemonade.
your bottles of lemonade were glass, and you give them in, and you got money for them, and you took them
You got
back.
money back on
So
them.
there was none of all this waste.
There's no throwaway culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of waste. People bought
No.
vegetables that were fresh.
Cheese, you went in and got half a pound
Yeah,
of
and,
cheese.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the cheese was,
yeah.
the cheese was
hold
cut
on a
on
minute.
a
I went in
wire.
for half a pound of cheese, and if it wasn't rationed, it was always more than half a pound.
I wasn't
Never less.
And your
Now,
butter, your
but
butter
you see
was
when the
on
rationing was on for the meat, it was cut exactly. You never got an ounce more.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what about the community relations back then? Because, you know, we hear a lot of people saying that before the Troubles,
Oh, everybody
people
was
lived
friends.
together.
Friends.
So do you remember that? Can
Oh
you say
yeah,
a bit about that?
my mummy would have been made a pot of soup, and you got a billy can. Everybody had billy cans, and you took them down to the older people in the street.
You shared
The
them.
ones.
Shared
Oh
them.
yes, very
Yeah,
yeah.
we shared
If you made a
that.
big pot of stew.
And there weren't cars. You walked up and down the street so people saw everybody and talked to everybody. Nowadays, you get into the car and you drive
see
down the
nobody.
street to see
Yeah,
nobody
that's
talking
right.
over.
And
They
then
got their phone in their hand.
everybody come round. The baker come round, the milkman come round,
Coalman.
the man selling bleach.
Yes.
Yes.
Delivered the milk.
The rag man come round, and if you had a few rags, you got a
A balloon.
Or
Or sometimes you got a fish. Remember you got a wee goldfish?
No way.
You went out with your jam jar and you got a
Yes.
goldfish.
You would have got a sugar bowl, and you'd have got a wee milk jug
right.
too. There was a whole lot of
Oh,
all night.
you must have lived in the good places. We only got fish.
Here, you're a bit younger than me.
I'm not, I'm older than you.
Was there not a man came round with a suitcase trying to sell things?
Oh yes, we just called him Lucky Knickers.
Was that not a bushman?
It was like a little Ricky looking
No,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, but didn't they
used
also
to
come
hear
round
people
for all the skins and stuff for
Oh,
to feed the pigs?
yes.
Saved them in the boat.
Refuse.
So you weren't throwing it out in the rubbish bins
bucket.
today. They were actually going off to the country to feed the pigs.
Yeah, but my brother used to gather skins.
See,
He
it
called
wasn't
it
wasted.
There was
skins,
no waste.
and he used to go with his bucket. And you got, I think it was 6 pence a bucket of skins, or maybe a shilling. I can't remember which. It's 2.5p, don't forget. And
Your
that's
money
what he
went
did.
further.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a-
Oh,
no,
it
but when
did?
you think of it, there wasn't all that waste like there is today.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
And we weren't even Green Party.
No. Everyone was just
We were living proper.
yeah. It's just the lifestyle was
The
that.
children were out playing
Playing
from
together.
morning to night.
Yeah.
Now you hardly see a child outside
Would you say like things like that as well during the Troubles? Was that before the Troubles?
before the Troubles.
before.
Oh, long
Before.
before the trouble.
Before the Troubles. Yeah, once the Troubles came,
That was
And
it.
that was it.
Mhm.
People,
You didn't like your children even to go out,
That's right.
so you didn't.
which is a shame that they can't get back to
I
that.
know.
I mean, I wasn't here with the Troubles on, but it's a shame that I remember
Yeah.
before and now. And you can see the difference. Yeah, people are.
Well, I remember
Very
down
sad.
at the bottom of the street where I lived, there was an Italian newspaper man that was over, and he had stopped our street and was talking away to him. And his group, you know, from his film company, they were paying the children at our down to throw petrol bombs so as they could get
They
films
could
of it.
film that.
Yeah,
Right.
And BBC did that as well.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I worked in Duke's Hotel then, and I was a manager in Duke's Hotel, and I was
Is it
going.
down south in South
No,
Belfast?
just
there's-
yes,
oh,
and
there's one here.
but over in where is it? Where's Duke's Hotel now?
Botanic
Botanic,
Botanic
over
Avenue.
Botanic, yes. And I had got a taxi to go to work, and we were just going round the Boyne Bridge, and there was a bomb in the taxi. And then I just got my leg built up. I had septicemia. I was in the hospital from actually today would have made it 28 years today.
Right. I didn't.
So it is 28 years. And I was septicemia, and then I was in the hospital for that. Happened in October, and I got out of the hospital in February. I had to go and live with my mummy because she lived in the flat. I never went back home for a while till I got on my feet. I was 2 years in a wheelchair. So it took me all that time to get back to myself again.
But where this
Yeah.
building is now used to be the Crumlin Road Picture House,
There's no.
and they blew it up, and I live facing it, and our house got it as well. And I had cleaned my windows that morning. I went over to my mother-in-law's, and we heard the bangs, and I said, better hurry up and get home, you know, get home safe. And we got home, I had no doors, no windows, no roof. The whole lot had gone up. Mhm.
Yeah.
No. Is this how kind of like the cinema here sort of like was
The
gone, or did they
Crumlin
rebuild it?
the Crumlin Road Pictures, which was where this building is, and that was part of it. I mean, it was all flattened. That's where the picture house was, and for some unknown reason, they blew up the Crumlin Road Picture House.
I wonder why.
I never did find out why. I know. I had more to worry about trying to find my door. No, what we're under tarpaulin, and when I think about it now, they came up and they were cutting up hardboard to block up the window, you know, put over the
Yeah,
windows
yeah.
and things, and they asked could they plug it into and I had to pay the electric bill. Nobody said there's the money for the bill.
No, that's right.
Of course, yeah.
Oh no, those were the days I wouldn't want to repeat.
No.
And when you hear people talking
I
about
don't
it,
want
like,
them
oh, it
ever
might
to
come
come
back, you
back.
wonder, like,
No,
please don't.
no.
Yeah, like, don't.
But life went on, didn't it?
Oh yes, you had to live your everyday life. Yeah.
And what was it like? So you still went about your daily...
You had to.
Yes. You
You
still
went
had
into
to
town,
run
you
your
had
children.
your bag searched. You
No.
were frisked
I used to
sometime,
think this
but-
was safe. You went into town and they had it blocked off, Royal Avenue and Dunning, and you went through and all your bags and everything was searched before you got into the shops and all the shops in town. I used to say, great, you're safe, everything's been searched. Until now, my husband had a shotgun. He used to go out shooting rabbits and things, which were always shooting because he had more pellets than rabbits. You couldn't have cut the meat out of it. But having said that, I went down to get cartridges for him, and there was a shop down Lower Street sold them. So I got the certificate, bought them. Came in a small square box. So my shopping bag, I set it right in the top, and I had the certificate in my hand as I got to the check bit where they checked. And the girl lifted it out, put it to one side, rummaged all through my bag and set it back on again, said, away you go. I never felt safe after that. I always thought everything. Oh, and that's another thing. I don't know whether you've ever bought any clothes with the pockets stitched up.
Yes, yeah, I do, yeah.
The reason for that was because we were putting incendiaries
devices in
into the pockets,
That's right.
and the shops were going up with the incendiary devices.
Oh, really?
That's why all the manufacturers in England all were asked to sew up
They
the
all
pockets.
sew the pockets up now.
I remember a friend of mine when I was sending this to her. She had a suit and she didn't even know there was pockets in it because they were still stitched up.
But you still find it nowadays. I thought it was they were just being lazy. Not doing the full work. Yeah,
No,
so
that
that's
was the
fine.
reason for that. Because there was an awful lot down in Primark went up.
That's
really
right,
went
it
up there.
was.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's only when you start talking about it that it all sort of comes back. And comparing to the way we live today, it's very different.
Well, I didn't think we'd been talking about the troubles, but that was in my head this morning before I even said
I know,
it
how do we
out.
get on the... Let's
You
get
don't
back to,
think-
let's
you
get
don't
back to
think-
lovely picture houses.
Yeah, do you want to talk something more
blown up.
cheerful? About going to the cinema, going to the movies?
No, I used to go when I was a kid up to the Forum Picture House. That was at our down roundabout there.
Yeah.
And we used to go on a Saturday. It was the kids' matinee. And they had a serial on. It was Flash Gordon. It was a serial.
Do you remember?
And it was just, it was the same thing, a wee bit before the big picture. And Flash Gordon, it always finished with a cliffhanger to the next week. So you always came back the next week to find out, what had happened. But I remember, I only thought about this years later. You know the way nowadays you walk up to a door, an automatic door, and the door's open? Well, you see, Flash Gordon, they went up and the door's open. It was up magic. Found out years and years later, the technology didn't exist, but there was two men behind the door pumping around wheels to get the doors to open up.
Yeah, nowadays it's probably much easier. Just press a button. It's really good. It's really good to see films of old film special effects.
Yes.
Because the way they've done it, oh my god, it is so creative. Whereas nowadays they do everything on the computer. That's it, and then that's it.
Well, that's how they got the doors to open automatically. They turned the wheel. But I'll tell you, I think I told you this morning, the one thing that I did learn was Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto in B flat minor. They played that every Saturday in the Forum Picture House before the picture started.
Right.
And if you heard it, you would know it. If you ever been there, you would know it. I'm tone deaf, and so I'm not going to. Anybody who knows it can hum it.
Played in the background as a. What about others? Your memories of going to the pictures? Is there any particular one close to your heart?
Yes, well, I went to Windsor. You see, I'm from the Donegal Road, and none of my picture houses are mentioned. I went to Windsor and the Broadway, the Majestic, and the Regal.
Yeah.
They were my four picture houses.
Majestic.
But I went to Montanys, and it was sixpence into the Montanys, 2.5p, and a shilling at night time, and 1 and 6 to the back stalls. But if you were with the boy, it was 1.9 up the circle. It was great.
Double seat.
You got up the stairs.
double
Yeah,
seats
there
over
was
your
double
side of town
seats.
too?
Yeah. Oh, aye.
Oh, there was double seats in the park. Back row. Back row had double seats.
Yeah, the back seats, they keep coming back.
Yeah.
I remember very well.
Like curtain seats.
But I think it must have been the same price for you. Was it a shilling at night?
I can't.
I was a shilling at night.
It
Yes,
was
I
a
was
shilling
at
at night.
That was
Yeah.
for adults.
Yes, that was.
a shilling.
Well, it must have been sixpence for me, for I was always with my mum.
Well, I went to the stadium, and it was fourpence for into the matinee and sevenpence if you had a boy and you went up to the balcony. But the one I loved going for a treat was the Ritz. The organ used to come up out of the floor and play before the picture started. I don't know why you were popular or younger than me to remember that.
No, I remember.
Do you remember it? The organ used to come up.
Yeah.
I loved to go down there. It was a treat, like, to get to there.
Oh, that was good. It really was. Like,
Well, when you went with a boy, that's when the boy took you. When I did, everybody all pay their own way, don't they? Boys and girls, they pay their own way. They pay together, where years ago you got a boy and he took you out. Yeah. Oh, he paid for everything. You wouldn't have went with a boy if he hadn't got the money to take you out. You'd have been looking round the corner.
No, I was telling her this morning, I had an uncle who used to go to the pictures all the time, and there was one of the picture houses he went to, was called the Flea Pit, like for obvious reasons, and he used to get DDT and put it down his socks before he went.
DDT.
It's banned, no, it was to kill, it killed bugs
Killed
and
the
things,
jumpers, killed the jumpers.
but it killed everybody, you know, so I mean,
But you did go to them picture houses, you would have got fleas.
uh-huh.
And that was the Sandro and the Coliseum. There was a picture house in the Grosvenor Road called the Coliseum, but I wasn't allowed in it because there was a bar in it.
Yeah, none of the rest.
And you
of them.
sat in wooden seats, but I don't know about the Sandro. I was never in the Sandro either.
The Sandro was
Yeah,
a
I sure
very,
remember.
very old cinema, way over 100 years old.
Yeah.
But it had a funny name. Oh, it was like a shed. But it never ever had a screen. The walls were whitewashed.
Yes,
And
you
that's
just
what they
projected
showed
the
it
wall.
on, yeah. But it was a very old building.
Yeah.
But it was like all the other ones, you know, it was probably full of fleas, but it was always packed out. It was always packed out. There was always queues outside waiting for them to come out as well. But it was nearly always cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the cinemas nowadays are not much different. They're still quite kind of like dusty and, you know, badly maintained. You know. But it's very different as well. I think when we go now, it's all multiplexes. You know, they all look the same.
It's not a
They
place I
lost
go
kind of
now.
like the architecture, the music you're talking about, having this amazing classic music
Yeah.
before. You
Yeah.
know, nowadays it's just ads for 20 minutes
Yeah,
and then the film.
45 minutes and something
Yeah.
you're in early. It's just,
But sure,
don't get
it takes
dressed
you
up
to
to
have a
go.
tenner to go to the pictures now.
oh, here it goes. It's very expensive.
Well, I still call it the pictures. You probably
Pictures,
call it
no,
the
I call it
cinema.
We call it the pictures.
Well, it's a fiver in by the time you get your
Oh,
popcorn.
£5 at least.
At least,
Yeah, but I'm
That's a
going.
cheap night.
I'm taking her to the cheap part. Fiver in, and then you get your popcorn and you get potato
Oh, I can't
crisps.
stand the smell of that stuff.
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it
that's
too.
nice.
I can eat a bucket of it.
But it was costing me.
I'd rather have the smell of a hard-boiled egg.
And then you can get, but you can get the crisp with the cheese over it.
Nachos.
The nachos, yes.
I can't remember the name of them, so I just call them crisp with cheese over them. I went to see Mamma Mia, the second one, and then that's how I know about them.
They don't sound as nice now as they did back in the day. They definitely had a better feel to them in your days.
Would you kind of like get dressed up for them? It was kind of like almost like an
For the
occasion to
picture
go to the
house?
pictures
Yeah, for the
or
picture
not
house.
really?
Just went.
Not at all. Maybe your mummy even collected you from school. She took you on to the matinee. You know what? Well, that's my mummy did.
Well, every Saturday morning I would have gone to the pictures.
Oh, so did I. The ABC.
No, the
The-
Capitol on the Antrim Road.
Did they not? What did, that's where Alec went.
That's
Alec's from the Limestone Road.
Right. Well, I don't know how I got there because I
Oh, right.
lived
Well, it's off just up
across
the
the
Antrim
road.
Road.
but went with my brother and cousins.
Uh.
Can't remember how much it cost, but I can remember as soon as we came out, we went to the shop and we got a penny ice lolly.
But that was a
Remember
lovely
that.
picture house.
Did you get Flash Gordon too?
I can't remember. I can't remember what I seen.
Lone
I was.
Ranger was
I must
another
have
one.
only been
Oh, the
about
Lone
6 or
Ranger,
7.
yeah. Although
Roy Rogers, because she came out running down the street.
Dale Evans. There was Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
And do you know three?
Lassie.
You know,
Lassie. I loved Lassie.
But I like the Indians.
John Wayne, you were in the John Wayne.
I love the Indians. No, the Apaches were brilliant.
Oh, well, in those
And the-
days,
and the
the goodies wore
What
white
about-
hats and the baddies wore black hats.
Is there anything else that you want us to include that you haven't said that you would like to be in your podcast?
Yes, we want to go back to the past, not forward to the future. The past was good. I mean,
But the
people.
past always looks better, doesn't it?
No, I know, but it was. I mean, think about this place is like now.
I know.
You know, the past really was.
Well,
When
you
were-
could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, and you were happy,
You
and
could
you
do
didn't.
anything.
You didn't have to look over your shoulder or look to see who was there.
Yeah.
Or-
Look, it's not
But
that
you're
you want
going to
go
the past, but not-
It's you want the future to
That-
be better.
Yes.
I think there is a part in your past there that you wouldn't want to bring up again.
That's
So
true.
it's your young past you want to be in, not the middle of it, when the troubles is on. I would never, ever, ever want to be back in the troubles again.
Look,
I reared
was
4
a-
children
I
in
was
the
ancient
troubles.
when the trouble started.
Well, my youngest one was 8 months when the trouble started. So you had to rear all them and watch where they went. And one boy, and he was tortured because you were afraid to let him out.
And there was food shortages, and
Oh, yes.
you couldn't get petrol, and
No, my husband had a lorry round where we lived in front of Wheatfield Road then, and he used to go and get potatoes, and he'd have went and got milk, and he'd have went and got bread, and brought them round and give them out.
That's my
No,
husband done that.
Yes,
I
you
think
see.
people should look to the future and make it better than the past.
Yeah.
Maybe getting good aspects from the past
Of course.
and making sure that they come
Of
to
course.
the
The
future.
no waste and stuff. There's
Yeah,
definitely
look to
things
the
that we
future,
could
don't
learn.
look-
Look
don't-
from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
generation
yeah.
to
People
generation
keep
before.
looking back
We
to
never
the
ever
past
had that.
and then they feel miserable. They should be looking more to a better future and building on that themselves as well. That's it for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's what we are doing. That's what we're trying to do. So we are, because, as you said, there was nothing, only lemonade bottles that you got your money back on. You wouldn't have threw them out.
You wouldn't have threw them out.
You took them to shop, your kids got
And they
sweets with them.
Yeah, and they didn't waste the broken biscuits because we bought them as
Oh,
well.
I we did.
That's right. You went
Yeah.
for-
We
for a
bought
pound
them
or
as
two
well
bags.
in a bag.
Was that
So
the
they need
maypole
to-
again?
You know, we were the Green Party before the Green